Welcome back to Butcherbird Presents. I am Travis Stevens. This morning I am sitting with
Yuri Lowenthal.
Yuri Lowenthal.
I said that so you wouldn't be embarrassed if you forgot my name.
Or I mispronounced it, which would be exactly what I would do.
We've known each other for far too long for that to happen.
Yuri has come to talk to us about producing and creating content within the digital space. Yuri has a long, illustrious career. Would you call it illustrious?
It's long, illustrious something.
When somebody looks at your IMDb page, how many line items are in there? Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. So a lot of experience working in Hollywood, and he too has become one of those people that doesn't like to ask permission, just wants to make your own thing.
That was why my wife and I started the production company we started. As actors, it was our way of taking control, or a little bit of control, some control, because when you're an actor, you've got no control.
Right.
And creating the kinds of things that we wanted to be in, the kinds of stories that we wanted to tell, and the stuff that we wanted to tell in the world.
That's a common thing that I hear from people that end up turning their own content out, which is, I want to make the kind of stuff that I want to watch, and I want to make the stuff for a lot of actors, the stuff that I want to be in.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to be kind of doing it. And now with what we have going on with kind of the digital revolution, if you will, is the freedom to take that agency, take that control, and do it yourself if you want to.
Anybody can do it now. I still have yet to become a master of monetizing those things that we create, but at the very least, it is feeding our souls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what kind of things, what's your favorite thing that you've turned out?
My favorite thing would have to be the series Shelf Life, the web series Shelf Life, which you know quite well.
Yeah.
You came in after the first season, and Butcherbirds made the rest of that show happen.
Sure, we came in and lent a hand. We were able to talk to yourself and Tara about the creative, and then see what we could do to support it in a logistical as well as creative manner, right?
Yeah.
And keep raising the bar. We always keep trying to push up.
100%.
For those of you who haven't seen Shelf Life.
Why?
Seriously, get on YouTube and watch it.
Right.
And the second thing is it's this wonderfully imaginative show that really goes to work within the confines of what you can kind of create and use your imagination in order to make it bigger.
And it started on a very small level of, well, I know we can do this.
We can build a shelf.
Right. We can build a shelf, and we'll spend money on the costumes, make the costumes look really good, and we have that. And as the show developed and grew,
we got off the shelf.
We went way off the shelf.
We went way off the shelf. So just for those of you who don't know what it looks like or what we're talking about, let me throw it upstairs and ask them for a clip from one of my favorite.
Take it away.
Take it away, Stephen and Alexandra.
You have this kind of power between your legs. Hold on to your ball sacks, boys. I have never felt so alive.
Snake, batter up! Yeah! Home run, bitches! This is the best night of my life! Hear this, look out!
Oh, fuck!
I can't watch any of that stuff without just falling in love all over again.
Seriously.
And I know it's my own thing, so that seems like the wrong thing to say. But I love you said what's your favorite thing, and we've created a lot of stuff for the digital space, and that's still my favorite.
Yeah, and part of it was who was in the car with you, right?
Yeah.
So we had
It was my wife sitting next to me.
Tara Platt.
Bonkers crazy in that scene and in many scenes.
Yeah.
The things she'll do for love. And then Travis Willingham, known on screen and video games.
We like to not pretend that there's other Travises in Yuri's world, but
and yet I have an affinity for Travises. I collect them like action figures.
So Travis Willingham.
Right.
Under Samurai Snake was
Brian Ank.
Brian Ank,
a friend of mine from, talk about, building your team.
Sure.
And to help make these things. Brian and I have been working together on films since the early days of when I was living in New York back in the day.
Another artist that just loves doing things. Will always be in the mix somewhere doing something.
He's made a million films,
Yeah.
And then the voice for Samurai Snake, of course, D. Bradley Baker.
Sure.
Who is known for his animation and he does a lot of creature voices, but is also a top-notch actor in his own right.
And then finally, guest star on that particular episode was Mara Marini.
Who you might know from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, she's mainstream. She's amazing and was so nice.
Yeah,
so very,
easy
very
to
nice.
work with. Yeah, be nice when you're working. Be nice on sets. Be nice to people.
Yeah,
Comes back.
So to get away from the acting part of that particular thing, what was producing Shelf Life like? What was that?
Producing, my wife and I have always called ourselves reluctant producers because, of the work involved.
Yeah.
But what we can do in this space now makes it possible for even somebody who had not had a lot of experience to do that. But it's about managing a lot of things.
Yeah, what's the first thing that you try, what's the linchpin that you try to pull in for the first piece of the puzzle for anything that you do?
Script.
Writing. Yeah.
Writing, yeah. Make sure that is well and locked down before we start going out to anybody else or putting anything together. Because as soon as you start changing that, it radiates out.
Yeah, seriously. You know what?
Yeah.
For me, one of the first things that I do, even before script, because it helps me with my script, is actually location.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles especially, but I know anywhere, wherever you have that you can film is golden, right?
Sure.
That's the piece, a space that you have that nobody's going to interrupt you. You can kind of turn it into your own imagination playground. And often the scripts that I develop are defined by the spaces that we can shoot in.
You directed a feature recently that was based on that whole...
defined by the space. For the independent producer, location becomes probably, for me, in my opinion, the single most important piece of the puzzle for you to start building around.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Is that...
I would 100% agree. Yeah, and maybe there are places outside of Los Angeles and New York that location is not as big a deal almost because people are very welcoming and forgiving when you want to shoot at a location.
Sure.
People are excited about making, but when you come to a place like Los Angeles or where films are happening all the time, it's hard to shoot anywhere.
Right.
So I often want to shoot things in smaller places far away from Los Angeles.
And as a producer in the digital space, where you're honestly not working with huge budgets, where they can create Metropolis or create World War I or do whatever, whatever the big action set piece is popular right now. No spoilers.
No spoilers. He hasn't seen it. I've seen it.
So if you can't do that, writing something that takes place at a used car dealership where you have 50 old vintage used cars and it's this amazing idea, but you can't get that,
right?
It doesn't really help you,
right? But if your uncle owns one of those and you talk to them first and he says, yeah, I'd love for you to shoot a movie over here. Yeah, sure, come on over. We'll even make coffee for you, whatever. Then write a script that takes place there.
Yeah, I'll give you the space on Sunday. You have one day at this place, and then you figure out all of a sudden what can I do in that space on Sunday that's interesting and fun to watch. And to me, that's what I refer to as the independent movie maker's mantra.
That's and you bring up a good point in that the first feature that we produced as Monkey Kingdom Productions, our very first thing, was a feature set in a big house that we knew we were going to be house sitting at for 2 weeks.
Right.
And I wrote the script based on the location. So you were 100% correct.
Yeah. So that's the first big piece of the puzzle. What's another piece? Another interesting piece that you like to put into place?
I like working. You can't always start off this way, but I like working with people that I like working with. I mean, I know it sounds really simple. People that I've worked with before.
Yeah.
It's why you and I end up on a lot of the same sets together, is because, and the way you see even in Hollywood, people coming up together as a group.
Sure.
Because once you've got a shorthand with people.
Right.
So I will often call, people like that to start the process. Hey, I've got this idea, or hey, I've got a script, or hey, I've got a location. I want to get you guys in on the ground floor.
Right.
Can you help? Is this interesting to you?
Right.
And then because also it is very hard to carry the torch just yourself for any long, for at all.
It's a collaborative process
Yeah.
to me. And if you don't have the teamwork that's in place to help support whatever kind of wazoo ideas you come up with,
Yeah.
you're not going to do it. You don't work in a vacuum.
Yeah.
You can't run around to every single camera, operate every single camera, do all this stuff, be the one talking, and
even Robert Rodriguez can't do that.
seriously, Spielberg, anybody that
Yeah.
comes up and says, I'm the only one working on this film, it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah. It is
have
a
help.
team thing, and that's why you got to love the people you're working with.
Sure, yeah.
Or have lots of money to work with a bunch of people you don't like, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, no.
And nor do I want to ever talk
getting
about that.
things done, and
Yeah.
then finding content that compels you,
Yeah.
right?
That it excites everyone on the team.
One of the interesting things about working kind of within the digital space now are there's so many different platforms to work on,
Yeah.
right? It's you have people that are Instagram famous. You have people that are using Snapchat or older things that were Vine, that have kind of come and gone, and it's almost like the platforms themselves are getting their 15 seconds of fame, right?
Sure.
And the creative operating within those different platforms. What's a new platform that's exciting you right now?
I think it's fascinating that people have found places that I never would have thought. Like telling a story inside the game Minecraft. Like you can tell story, you can use the engine of a game to tell a story. Early on, it was, Rooster Teeth was doing Red versus Blue. They were using the Halo engine,
Right.
and then supplying their own voiceover and telling amazing stories,
Right.
and hilarious stories. And now you can, with people playing, multiplayer, these massive online games.
Yeah.
You can get a bunch of people in. You can get a whole bunch of people watching all at the same time.
Right.
Twitch is, broadcasting on Twitch now is huge, and that
Huge, yeah.
at first was just for playing video games.
Yeah.
It's amazing now that we've networked. Now that you can that anyone from their living room can broadcast to everyone in the world.
Yeah.
Essentially, the big challenge that comes next is there's so much stuff out there.
Right.
How do you get your stuff seen?
How do
as a viewer? How do I know where to go to find the kind of stuff that I like?
Right.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, it's like
As a producer of this content.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like we're in creatively the age of the early phases of television, right? Mm-hmm. Where they were just kind of making it up as they went along. They didn't know who their viewership was. But the easier thing about that was there was only a limited number of destinations
Right.
for people to go to.
Yeah.
And now there are so many destinations.
Yeah.
But if you build your audience or you find that specific demographic that you're catering to, I got to feel like they're going to come.
Sure.
I got to feel like they're going to come.
Another area. I mean, you've even seen Kevin Smith sort of mostly abandon films for podcasts.
Yeah.
This is a great lesson. A friend and I couldn't stop talking about Fury Road. You've been on the show, and we jokingly said we should do a podcast where we just talk about Fury Road every week.
So Yuri and I went and watched Fury Road twice together.
At least twice.
At least
together.
twice together, and then we saw it a couple different times, and we started talking about it, and he was like, "I have this other friend
named Travis. Don't think too hard about
Seriously,
that. Guys.
Another Travis in Yuri's life. He was like, we have started this thing."
Yeah.
And was a little bit amazed, and talk about the most niche of the niche market that you. What was your guys' concept? It was
the concept was this: we love doing this. We want an excuse to talk about Fury Road. This gives us an excuse, and sort of we're forced into doing it.
So
and getting
the
together.
format is
the format. I mean, the format is we watch 4 minutes of Fury Road and then talk about that for 45 minutes or so.
4 minutes.
Yeah,
4 minutes of the movie broken out into how many episodes?
It's almost exactly 2 hours. So, but we had guest episodes.
Sure.
Where we would break the format, or we'd interviewed, and then we started to interview people from the film. So we would have them on as guests either via Skype or in person.
People started hearing about it within the community. And
and we started reaching out, through Facebook. I put a call out. I said, some of my friends have to know people. I know a lot of people in Australia. Some of those friends have to know people who worked on the film.
So who have you been?
Turns out they did.
Who have you been hooked up with?
The co-writer Brendan McCarthy of the film, who wrote it with George Miller. We've everyone from actors in the film to fight choreographers to designers. Colin Gibson, who's like the lead designer on the film. It's turned into this amazing thing that basically was born of something that me and this other guy loved,
especially
and
as
us
a
talking
fan
about
geek.
it.
As a fan geek, getting to turn in and see or talk with these people that you're like, I love your work, and now I'm getting to talk to you about your work. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it came from the fact that we loved it. We didn't care. We didn't care. Well, will people watch it? Will people listen to it? Or who's our audience?
Right.
We just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing it for a year.
There
are 52 episodes, 53 episodes of all centered around one film.
One film.
Yeah.
Just again, so you guys know what we're talking about. We went ahead and queued up a part with Travis Centel.
Centel, yeah.
Other Travis.
Other Travis, yeah. Other Travis.
Probably first Travis for you.
Let's see. Well, I knew you first.
Oh, boom! Number one Travis.
Yeah.
Centel and Willingham can suck it. But anyway, so let's take a listen
Alexander,
to
Steven?
I think the movie intentionally avoids any suggestion or hint of sexual tension between them. What you see is kindness, you see tenderness, you see respect, you see gentleness between these two characters, and I think that is something the movie has to do to make its argument about falling patriarchy's rise of femininity and all those different things.
Amazing. Quick, to the point.
Quick, yeah.
So
if you like that movie, you'll probably like the podcast.
Yeah. So go find the podcast.
Yeah. It's on iTunes under You Are Awaited, or my name, or Mad Max Fury Road. If you type in Mad Max, 2 podcasts pop up, I think.
So what are you guys pushing forward to now? So you've taken Shelf Life to YouTube. You've done like an app for it. You've started to play on multi-platforms. You've got a solid run here now in podcast world. What other things are you exploring now to kind of keep those creative fires burning?
We're still pushing into web series content. We shot the first season of a web series that Tara conceived. That has turned out great, and now we're just pitching it. It's through post. It's all done.
Yeah.
And now we're just pitching it around to various platforms to see if we can find the best fit for who we think the audience might be.
Sure.
Continuing to write features. We'll see if those, will be able to be produced on a lower level, or if it's something that we're going to have to go out and seek more funding and bigger production opportunities for. But just keep working.
The web series that you're talking about right now, that was conceived by Tara Platt. You brought in America Young as the director, and so this is that particular thing is a great opportunity, a great example of when people are finding that they're not getting the opportunities that they want. America is an amazing creative voice. Lovely
She
person.
might even be on this show someday.
I would love to ask her. I haven't reached out, but so when people are coming into the industry and they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I tell them, stop the wanna talk. I don't want to do anything.
Right.
Do it. If you want to be a director, directors direct.
Right.
Do it. Find the mechanisms
Yeah.
to create the thing. There are tools that are out here now.
Yeah.
Again,
Podcasts cost
have-
essentially
you have-
$0 to produce.
zero.
If you've already got, a computer and, I mean...
Things that people have.
Yeah.
One of our partners, Jason Milligan, same thing. Go Get Outside is a podcast that he started, and I think he's into triple digits now on episodes. Like he just keeps cranking them out.
Wow.
Again, talking to people about getting outside.
And it comes from something he loves to do.
Yeah, and
You got to find the love first. That's the only thing that's going to carry you through to the end.
100%. So to kind of sum up the talking points today, find the love.
Find the love.
Find the space.
Yep.
And find the people that you want to work with.
Those would be my,
Those would be the big three.
Yeah. And we did one today. I think you have one more clip.
Yeah, talk about finding the love in the space.
We had to create the space a little bit, but...
Yeah, Topsy McGee. Spin that one for me. Spin the yarn of Topsy McGee.
It was something we hadn't seen done a lot. My wife and I are both huge fans of, alternate Victorian timeline storytelling. Steampunk, the whole design of it, and the beauty and the history of it, or the false history of it.
Right.
And big female, a female hero that the kind of role that Tara's always wanted to play.
Right.
And so she wrote this short, and we decided to film it to make it appear as if it was a film of the time that could have been created at the time. And then we came to you and
so no sound.
So no sound, just music.
Yeah.
Cards up for dialogue.
Sure.
And then we put our heads together as to how that could happen.
And then that one won the New York City International Film Festival for best something.
I don't know, fantasy short or best short, something like that.
Something like that. So you know what? I think we queued up a trailer.
Great.
Let's watch that last final piece here, if you guys don't mind. Talk about using space. So that was in an alleyway.
Yep.
It was in my front room.
Yep.
And it was in your guys' apartment downtown.
Right, that we built a set inside. That was still one of the craziest, stupidest things I've ever done.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. And
you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy to do this.
Your downstairs neighbors had to hate us by the time we were done.
I bought them a really nice bottle of bourbon.
Yeah. Hopefully they drank it during production.
Right. Hopefully they did. I know
Oof.
I did.
Oof. So that's about it. We're out of time. Any kind of last parting shots, call outs, places you want to kind of direct the folks that are watching?
Don't worry about getting it right. Just worry about doing it. Don't worry about it all. Just do it.
Just do it.
Don't worry about it being right or perfect or good.
Yeah.
Good is the enemy of done.
Perfect.
And done is the engine of more.
Yeah.
And the more you do, the better it'll get. So just start cranking out stuff that you have to get out of the way, essentially, to get better.
Yeah. You'll find your voice.
Don't fear failure.
You'll learn technique.
Yeah.
And you'll get better at your
find
job.
and find the people you love working with.
Yeah, absolutely. So to find us, reach out to us on Facebook. Please like us on our Facebook page at butcherbirdstudios.com. You can find Shelf Life at
shelflifeseries.com. Or if you go to Monkey Kingdom Productions, that's our production company.
Look for Tara Platt, America Young. Look for You Are Awaited on your podcast.
Right on iTunes, yeah.
I guarantee you, if you find these people, you will find some amazing kind of creative, fun content built around the stuff that they're doing. So that's it. Travis Stevens.
Yuri Lowenthal.
And we didn't do our shout out to the boys up in the booth.
The boys and girls.
Boys and girls up in the booth.
Right.
Sorry, Alexandra, Steven, and Lillian.
Lillian, hi.
Up there doing the live broadcast. So thanks once again for you guys for tuning in. And next week, you won't have to see me. It'll be Jason Milligan and I think Michael Schling coming in and talking to you. So look forward to that.
Would you only have handsome people on the show?
You know, except for me, mostly. I'm not really.
Your beard is powerful. Your beard game is solid.
Solid beard game. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.